Hello there and welcome to episode 7 of my self-employment vlog. Thank you for stopping by and joining me again for my weekly update. So, what's been happening this week then? Well, as we suspected, things have progressed quite rapidly with the coronavirus, and it's spreading, very, very fast at the moment, lots of cases. And so our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, decided that it was time to go into lockdown. So what that's essentially meant is that we've all been kind of housebound unless we absolutely need to go out for supplies and things like that, or if we're key workers. Now, I am actually a key worker, but my school informed me that if we have children, then we're not to go into school. So obviously with my son Arthur, who's only 6, I'm sort of exempt from going in. Yeah, I've been housebound for most of this week. I'm quite lucky. Where I live is set in some very large grounds, and it means that I can kind of walk around quite freely without actually seeing a soul. And it means that I can kind of get the fresh air, and luckily this week we've had some really, really lovely weather. So in that respect, being quite lucky, considering really, it's meant that I've been able to finish my piano album, Stargazer. A link is in the description for where you can buy it. I think it's a great album, actually. I'm really pleased with it. I think as I was writing it, I'd lost a bit of momentum about a month or so ago. I was struggling to get it finished, and then with everything that was going on, I realised that actually I needed to just get it done. And it's amazing what happens when you have a bit of pressure to get something finished, and I feel that it's actually made me produce something that's very, very good, and I hope that you all enjoy it when you listen to it. There are 8 tracks in total, and then a bonus track, which is my Mike Oldfield Omadorn variations. So please, if you can, buy a copy. That would be amazing. Originally it was going to be on CD, but it's digital download only, just because I have to watch my overheads at the moment in terms of costs. There were announcements yesterday regarding self-employment, big announcements in terms of how the government are planning to help support those who are self-employed. Now, things are still a little bit kind of grey in some areas. Essentially the government have said that self-employed workers who have a certain number of years of paying, tax returns, will then have their profits looked into over the last few years and then averaged out, and then up to 80% of the profits, I believe, will then be paid to them as a lump sum in June, so giving them sort of 3 months worth in one go. Now, they've said that if you've only recently started self-employment, then you're kind of screwed, and that you're going to have to go through the benefit system. Now, I'm in a little bit of a strange position because I actually registered as self-employed. Well, I've done my first tax return last year. I've done that and paid that, and now I've done my 2nd year's worth of self-employment. So I've essentially done 1 tax return, and then I'm now ready to do my 2nd tax return. But the problem I've got is that I registered as self-employed as a sole trader because of what I was doing, but it's as well as my pay-as-you-earn salaried job as a teacher. So I don't know how they look into that, because obviously I was doing the 2 things side by side. But I officially finish at the end of April as a teacher, and so from May onwards, I suppose, I'm relying solely on my self-employment. So I don't quite know how it's going to work in terms of what kind of support they can give me. I have evidence of tax returns, only 1 at the moment, but obviously with April coming round, I'm in a position where I can submit my next tax return as more evidence for the year. So yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. Essentially they've said not to contact HMRC, but to just wait, and they're going to look into it and assess who is eligible for the help, and then how much they would get, because I really don't want to go through the benefit system, just because I've had experience years and years ago of the benefit system, and it was stressful. They always get back to you a year or 2 later saying, oh yeah, we've just looked at our system and we realised we've overpaid you by £2,000, so we want it back. And I've had that happen to me, and I don't know if I really want that happening to me again. I'd much rather perhaps rely on my savings or rely on some other means to get by. But I'm hoping if the government can help and I can continue my piano teaching, which brings me on to teaching online. I've done my first week's worth of online piano teaching, and that has been successful. You know, there were some teething problems with some students, you know, getting the right camera angles, sound quality issues. But essentially, once you're set up and you've got a good system there, it works very well. So I think that's going to be a good temporary sort of system for the moment, until we get back on track, whenever that may be. So anyway, that's it though for today. Like I said, please do consider purchasing my new album, because I think you'll really enjoy it, particularly during this very stressful and strained time that we're going through. I'll be back next week for my next weekly update, episode 8. I will see you next week. Have a great week. Keep yourself safe. Keep indoors where you can, and we'll catch up soon. Take care. Bye.